Sorry, fella. Fella, I'm going to ask you not to film in here. I'll have to ask you not to film in here, please. No, it's against the rules. You can't film in here. Sign up there. I don't care about your 7th Amendment right. This is my property, fool. I got to sign up there. There's no filming in here. We do activities that might be considered out of the norm, and I don't want no footage getting in. What? 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 I think you're invading my space, man. Back up. Not you. You're okay. That dude. Hey, man. So, this is what I believe to be an old Norma guitar. I was at my favorite flea market with my daughter. I reenacted a little bit. Because I know, you know what I mean? Sometimes you guys, hey, man. Again. Back up. So I was at the flea market with my daughter. There's a guitar with a case. And the case had all kinds of stickers on it. Just like these stickers here. Which I think might be soon history. Even though they're very cool stickers. And very, very, you know, mod kind of stickers. But that's the way I feel about stickers on instruments, really. So anyway. So I come across the table. $10 maybe. I got paid $15 for it, possibly. I think the guy wanted $25 actually. It had a case too. It had stickers on it too. And I was like, look, pal, I could just, you know, breathe in my house and find a case like that. I don't care about your case. I don't care about that cool sticker on that case that I'm about to show you after I flip you around. But not yet. Not yet. And he's like, you're 20 then. Come on, buddy. You know what I mean? I'm burning family heirlooms for fuel. I'm living in this camper here. I was like, look, buddy, you want 25? 15, you freak. I didn't say that, man. I was like, 15, man. Times are tough on this side, too, man. You know, you think all those guitars going hungry in my basement. You know what I'm saying? Missing parts and stuff. Feed me! So, you know, well, I think we're too far apart. I'm going to have to go. Right when I got to, like, right here, he's like, no, 15's all right. I'm like, that's right. That's what I thought. You thought I was trying to get over on you, and I did. Well, I did. So, I walked away with it for $15. Now, here's where the weird part happens. Because that kind of thing happens every time I go to the flea market. This was something strange. Here's this guy, you know, 10, 15 years older than me. Has a mustache. He's been at the flea market longer than I can remember. Always had the mustache, and he's always a little bit older than me, right? So that's the way life works, you know what I'm saying? And he'd always get there 3 minutes before me. He'd always be like, you know, when he parked his car, you know what I mean, as I'm just pulling in. You know what I mean? He's always right at the table that I wanted to be at, as far as instruments went. You know what I'm saying? Always like, I'd see him like at it, you know, polishing it up. Well, look at this. 1932 dress synchromat, but you know what I mean? All kinds of weird stuff. He's fine. You know what I mean? Well, it was right at the table. He walked by. You know what I'm saying? Going on for years. You know what I mean? But I got to know him. You know what I mean? I you know what I mean? He sees me walking around with a guitar under my arm. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, can I see it? I'll show it to him. Likewise, you know. And he, just the other day, I saw him buy this old bass drum from the 1920s. And, like, you know, we looked at it together. And it was like, you know what I'm saying? It was like a harmony miracle, like between people that are at the flea market that sometimes compete. You know what I mean? I felt good for him, you know? Not too jealous. You know what I'm saying? What am I do? It's a big piece of equipment. It was old. It was good condition. But anyway, I digress, like I always do. So I had this case, the $15 prize, which in my mind is like a Norma. Is that to get those stickers off, find what Norma it is, reproduce the Norma sticker. We're in business, you know what I'm saying? Got millions of Normas, easily done. You know what I'm saying? Has a Korea stamp on the back. We all know that Norman Sackheim, the early person in Korea. This looks like it, you know what I mean? I was just, this is Norma, you know what I mean? I knew I was like, I know what I'm talking about. And he's like, man, and I have my daughter in front of me, you know what I mean? We're all ready to go because I already scored, you know? He's like, man, if I look at your fans today, buddy. And I'm like, sure, mustache man, you know what I mean? Open it, his eyes lit up. I don't know if he's doing this trying to impress my daughter, like, Well, your daddy found something special today. That's a 1960 K-made American beautiful. What? Is this guy like really for serious? And I looked at him, yeah, that's a good find. I can't. Your dad found an American-made case. I don't know what he was excited, but he didn't have like a humiliating. And he patted me on the back like, "Wow, this man found something." Like, he tried to mind fuck me. Like, you got a piece of shit, and you probably ended up paying those guys $35 with their tails living in the fucking woods. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, man, so that's what happened, man. It was weird. It was a weird moment in my life. I still am trying to translate it and process it. Like, did he really think it was a K? Is he just an imbecile, or is he like really an actor? Like I think he is for years. Like my evil nemesis. I have no idea. But one thing I can absolutely will promise you, I'm gonna flip you around right now and we'll look at it better. And we're gonna restore it. We're gonna get those fucking stickers off. I'm gonna play it for you. There it is, man. This is the case that it came with. And see, it has all kinds of nice stickers, man. Some kind of like dollar bill from another universe. This is like, this is a tattoo I got when I was drunk in Thailand. And these stickers are all cool and everything, but I'm not a sticker guy, man. I wonder if there's anything in there, man. I've never checked. Should we check? Let's check, man. If there's something in there, the case can stay. If there's nothing in there, the case gotta go. Case gotta go. See you in a second, people. So here we are, alone at last. Missing one of these. Got a couple of them sitting around. Luckily, I got them back when things were easy to get, I hope these stickers come off without a fucking fight. You can see that partial label in there. I'm going to talk to you about my recent findings, because it's not a normal. What? I studied hundreds of these last night on the internet before I laid it down here and showed y'all. See this strange sort of separation here? Got like putty in here. Take a look at that and I'll have it over. This particular instrument is an Encore. I always thought Encore because Jedistar says is a John Hornsby skews British, thing, because it's, still around distributing Encores to this day. That might be the case, but then I sort of started looking at all the old Encores, and I said, wait a minute. And on Jedistar's own page, there's a Harmony guitar from spring of 1943, which has been branded Encore and placed on there as if it's like, you know what I'm saying? Encore is established supposedly as 1965, according to Encore, John Hornsby Skew's website, right? There's something going on, man. So I did some research, and there was an Encore Strings, musical instrument company, Farmingdale, Long Island, not too far from Micah, where we had an example of a guitar that looked exactly like an Encore, the same exact paint scheme and everything. The only difference was like a little thing. It was literally down the road. And Encore Strings was actually a division of Re-Entry Music, which might be, one of those guys coming from, being J in the city, right? You know what I'm saying? Because we know that the two aspects, Ed, and what's the other guy? Frank, something like that. I forget the name of those two guys. We're both, B and J guys. You know what I mean? Bugleson and Jacobson. So, here we are, man. Encore, probably from Farmingdale, Long Island. It's definitely the only company that distributed an instrument with this particular paint scheme. There were many of them. There was a K, actually, that kind of looked like this. But I mean, definitely not a K. But there was quite a few instruments that were distributed, made by Aria in Korea. Different, put a sticker on me kind of a thing. But they all had different paint schemes. And to my knowledge, the Encore was the only one that had this exact paint scheme. The Sakova was very close, but the back and the headstock had a different paint scheme. This is a solid black back, you know what I'm saying? with Korea stamped as opposed to a sticker. And only Encore has this particular sticker with this paint scheme. So I'll show you some information in the learning laboratory. We'll learn a little bit more together. You know what I'm saying? Because it's always good to learn. It's always good to learn. Now, Encore Musical Strings, I believe, became distributed exclusively by TMC, which was a division of, actually, I believe it was a combination of 20th Century Music and of Dinner and Tang or something like that were the two distributors. This is a weird, like, strange thing. So Encore became their brand after, our friends in the Farmingdale decided, hey, we got too much on our plate. You know what I'm saying? Rosengarten, I think was his name. Like Ed Weiner and Fred Rosengarten, I think. Or Fred Rosenwald, I think his name was. It's been a long time, guys. So I'll see you in the laboratory. We'll try to get these strings off. Still some nice little strings on here. Oh, this is going to be a fucking beaut, man. It's going to be a wonderful instrument. I'll see you in the laboratory with no strings on. Hey, welcome back to the laboratory. All right? But you're not really welcome here. And I don't got your back. All right? Just understand the way we stand. And I don't want to stand on you. So, I took the strings off. I wiggle with that. You know what I mean? Loose neck, man. This loose neck, goose neck. It's definitely going to be a pretty easy fucking cut and dry case, old Bobby G. Basically, what happened was, there's a little bridge was lost, right? Lost, man. And then the neck was cracked. So it was sort of, able to play, using this as the, bridge point, which of course put the intonation out. So it must have been a joy. But as we were taking the strings off of it, we noticed it was the original factory winding, so it didn't have too much, playtime in it at any point, just sticker collector. But a piece of paper had been shoved under this by the original owner to try to stop this from grinding into the top, or possibly from vibrating while he was using it as whatever he was using it as, a 4-stringed instrument. And it looks to be like if he was trained to be an electrician, you know what I'm saying, in like early 70s. And he decided to give it up, man, to become like, a rock and roller, man. He probably made a big mistake, man, tearing up his notes. You know what I'm saying? You should have kept on the right track, man, instead of fucking around. Fool. You know what I'm saying? What a fucking fool. Just kidding, man. It's pretty brutal, man. I didn't mean that, man. Sorry. I understand, bro. I was a rock and roller too, man. Sorry, man. Anyway, the first thing I want to do, because I know that this is going to be like, let's jam this together and wait a week, Let's take off these stickers. It's killing me. This is week 2 of guitars with stickers that fucking suck, man. You know what I'm saying? Why did you put the stickers on this beautiful instrument? So this is week 2 on the twofer, man. And that's the first thing I want to get to, man, because I don't like these fucking things. These were put on by a subsequent owner, obviously, because they're a lot newer than that homework from from Larry's homework, man. Is this your homework, Larry? Is this your fucking homework? Well, I'll retire, so I'll put it back in that case once I'm done playing this instrument with my little song and dance at the end of the show. And they'll never be seen by me or Larry again. I'll see you once we peel these off, and I'll tell you how easy it was or hard. All right? See you in a minute. There it is, man. All my stickers been removed by the feds, man. It's evidence, man. I might have had something to do with the death of Jimi Hendrix. You know what I'm saying, man? He gave me his guitar, man. And he put these stickers on there after we done all this cocaine, man, because there's cocaine all over the place, man. And Jimmy's like, all right, man, I'm going to go now. See you tomorrow, man. No, I didn't see him again, you know what I'm saying? He was Jimi Hendrix, bro, you know what I mean? I seen on the news a couple years later, man, he died. I was like, ooh, man, I wonder why I didn't come by, man. I got some dynamite shit, man. I was just banging myself, you know what I'm saying, man? I always save the stickers. I don't know why, man. You know what I'm saying? Just in case. Somebody like, hey, man, did you know that guitar was a gift to John Cougar Mellencamp when he was still John Cougar? But we were calling him Johnny Cougar because he was very young at the time. Come here, little Johnny. Let's see that cougar of yours. So that we're gonna have to like close the gap, man. To bridge the generational gap, we must push it out. Right? We're gonna pump all kinds of gluten here, man. Hey, man, I'm gonna put my gluten there, man. Stick my glute right inside your crack and your crevice and make sure that the creamy glue reaches down the bottom so it can do its job. Make me a proud, proud man. So, I'll see you when we're all clamped out, man. Because that's what my intention is. A little bit of glue and a little bit of time. And a lot of clamping. See you there. Alright, so we got it clamped with the big He-Man clamp. So we'll let it set. I don't know. 3-4 days. I'll see if that burnt. To the magic of YouTube, you don't have to wait 3 or 4 days. You have to wait 3 or 4 seconds, right? 1, 2. Alright, so it's been about 5 days almost. Almost exactly 5 days. Maybe like 4 days and like 22 hours. Not exactly 5 days. Anyway, let's unclamp it. You know, I like to have it on there at least 3 or 4 days, but 5 days is cherry, man. More the merrier. Let's take a good look after we've unclamped ourselves. Alright, so it's unclamped as straight as an arrow. The neck is like perfect now. So we have a couple problems that need to be sort of, you know what I mean? A closer necropsy, man, we see it's been carved up a little bit. See, the former owner, RH, was very, very, you know what I mean, adamant that people know it was a guitar. He did it once and like, well, maybe people can't read that and they'll think it's AH or A4, right? They did it again, like better. Who was this? You know what I'm saying? Was it Richie Havens? Was it Robin Hitchcock? Roy Harper? He's belonged to Rudolf Hess. Right? I play it on the island. My lonely moments. So, here it is, man. It's got a couple things we gotta do. We gotta replace this old fart. As you see, this is a little bit chewed up here. We're just gonna use like a hole punch. This is slightly bigger than a hole punch. We'll chew up the side to like give the illusion of a piece of where is it here? See, we already have a piece of MOP. And just like this. And we'll buff it up a little bit and we'll cut a little hole out there. And we'll put it over there, William. That'll look nice for the people. It'll look good. You'll be enjoying its presence. We'll solve the riddle of this. But first, let's clean this guy up. Let's take this. Let's clean off the whole body, man. Take a magic erase sponge. Clean off this, right? After that's done, we'll come together. Right? 1, 2, 3. Yes, now it's super shiny. Super shiny. Super special. You were special before, but now you're more special, friend. So, one last thing before we get on the total cosmetic trip. See this crack here? Kind of became more apparent after I cleaned it. I knew it was there, and I always thought maybe I should tend to it. So, let's tend to it. Let's do that, shall we, neighbor? Let's put a little bit of wood glue. You know what I mean? Apply it to there. We're going to take this thing we call a suction cup. Some people call it a douche cup. Right? We're just going to get that in there like that. You know what I'm saying? Get it in there. It's an old violin maker's trick, man. Old Luther Vandross, man. So, let's get that and wipe off the excess glue with that little wet rag. I'll see you at that point. Or we say, we'll see you at that juncture. 1, calm down, Noriega. It's only going to hurt for the first 5 minutes. 2, hold them steady, W. 3. How you feeling, son? You're all sealed up. All your slits and cracks are all sealed. Nobody hurts you no more. Sit a spell. Sit a spell. Just relax. So I'll see you in about an hour. right? We'll let this dry. You know what I mean? This is really not holding any kind of pressure or anything, so we're just sort of worried about making sure that it's all over now for you, crack. You might be a visual reminder, but you're no longer structural detail. See you in about an hour or two. So it's the next day. We just took some water and cleaned off that excess glue, and then we took the furniture polish and we sort of, went over it again. Right? So let's get this guy in action a little bit, man. Let's just do around the edges a little bit. We don't have to go for everything. So we spent a lot of time trying to do the whole damn thing, but I mean, tastefully restore some of the law and order, right? Let's see in a moment, my mermaid friends. That's what I mean. Selective, not the whole thing, but you know what I mean. Enough to make the guitar look a lot better. I mean, even on the fretboard side. You know what I'm saying? Now it looks like a little bit, you know what I mean? Still a little bit beat up, but I mean, now it looks like, a presentable specimen of the, if I was Noah in you know what I mean, a land of guitars was about to be flooded, and I was looking for an Encore, and it's the only one I could find, you know what I mean? I wouldn't feel that bad now. But I feel kind of bad if I thought it was a K from 1960, right? What's that guy talking about? That still boggles my mind. So, let's think about this, man. Let's think about it and let's replicate it. I got a little piece of maxing tape. We're going to put it over here very gingerly. We don't want to pull one of these off, right? We're just going to make an outline with it using a crane, right? And then we're going to take that and cut it out liberally, put it on here and cut that out. We're going to kind of glue it right there, right? And I'll see you at that point, my people, right? See that? Mm-hmm. So now let's talk about the further accoutrements. Let's take a good look at this old gal. So I told you before, this guy's an Encore, right? Can I get an Encore? I know that because of the octagonal label and the fact that the color scheme with the black headstock, black neck, and the black back is unique to the Encore branded instruments. But let me tell you how I figured this out, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you what I know. Now, you can see here that this obviously had some kind of, let me put the flash on here because I want you to see it real good. This had some kind of emblem glued to it. It wasn't just a sticker because it's got this glue on it. And we have luckily tracked down a picture of the emblem on the headstock so we know exactly what size it is and all that, right? And it's got certain details about it that make it an Encore without a shadow of a doubt. So taking a good look at it now, let's go into the learning laboratory and learn the exact true details. How we found out it was an Encore, right? The first thing that we did when we first got it, man, was we just sort of took a picture like this, you know what I'm saying? That way. And then we did like a Google photo search until we found a picture of a guitar. It was actually a Sakova. And then we just went from there. And I'm taking the learning lab and I'm going to bring you with me and show you exactly how we found out of our Encore roots. Welcome back to the learning laboratory. Gonna get our learning on. We're gonna learn together. So this was my starting point for the Sakova instrument, man. This was after I photographed my instrument. This was, the big hit on Google photo search. You know what I mean? This particular thing right here. And if we look closer at the instrument that I linked us to, it's close, you know what I mean, but no cigar. You know what I'm saying? It has one of these kind of bridges. Gives us a little hint, right? It's got a square label. Ours had like a octagonal label. And it had like a sunburst headstock and a different, but it had an insignia, like a little badge on there, man. So we just kept looking at Sakovas. I was like, maybe it's a Sakova, it's just a different, breed. And we looked and they're all the same, man. It has that headstock with the sunburst going on, man. They're all the same thing, but very close to our instrument. But no solid black headstock like ours is, right? So we looked and we looked. We found the model number was S1K, okay? But we couldn't find anything like ours. And we kept searching using different photos as the start point. You know what I mean? And we never found one with the black, headstock. And we found this Encore, which was similar. Had a black, it's definitely the same manufacturer, and it had a solid brown headstock. You know what I'm saying? It had that label from the earlier ones. Encore. I was like, So I started using Encore as a search thing, and all kinds of things coming up. Kingston, it had a solid black. I was like, wow, look at that. And it had that same kind of label that we're, rocking right there, man. The silver label there. And it's a Kingston. Remember that Kingston thing? We've done quite a few Kingstons on this channel. But it had just a painted, sound hole as opposed to ours, which has like a water slide decal rosette. So it was not a Kingston. Plus it had the wrong sort of sunburst scheme. Then I came up with this one. It's an Encore. I was like, yeah, this looks like it, promising. But it was missing, just like ours. It was missing the little decal on the top, man. I gotta find, an example that has that in there. You can see it has the correct label and everything. It's got a brown popsicle stick bridge there. You see the Encore label inside there, man. The octagon, you can see the pointing thing going on. See what kind of bridge I was telling you about, man. It's like the popsicle stick with the raised stick, man. You know what I'm saying? Just some better examples of it. This was the only example I could find of this instrument. And I finally found one which had, the headstock ornament on there. It's like, yes. It's got the little badge. That's what it looks like. And it's got the correct label. I was so excited. But this is the only other example I could find online. And this just so happens to be one of the last instruments ever autographed by Elvis Presley, man. In 1977, somebody spotted him outside his little, man cave there down in Graceland. And he was like walking around in a tracksuit, in his backyard and shit with his daughter. Like, Elvis, would you sign this? And had like a big sloppy old magic marker. Elvis came over here smoking a cigar, right? He's like, I'll sign that for you. And he signed it for his name. He didn't remember what his last name was, but that's okay, man. He was fucking the king. You know what I mean? This one's got the popsicle stick right here, signed by Elvis Presley. And because of this one signed by Elvis Presley, so we know what the headstock insignia look exactly like. So Encore string instruments, man. Who are they? What do they mean, man? Well, they're from Farmingdale, Long Island, man. That's the original, real deal. This is from the late 60s, 68, one of the music trades. This is when Encore was still around. It became part of Reentry. Reentry got kicked around a little bit and ended up with TMC. This is, hey, man, is it TMC or THC, man? Hold on, man. Let me just take a look here. THC, man. Looks like an H, bro. Hey, man, this guy doesn't know how to read. Anyway, this is in 1971, and they were like combination of 20th Century and Targ and Dinner and all these people. Targ and Dinner were the ones that ended up owning a Reentry or whatever. And as you can see, this other snippet, man, this is a snippet view on Google Books. Snippet view, man. Encore. You see right there? That's who ended up with it. TMC. Hey, man, did you see THC? Oh, yeah, man. That's my favorite instrument, man. So anyway, there it is, man. We were able to, get our little replicant, thing on a great photograph of what that little badge looked like. We know it was a badge because I said before it's got glue on it. So we took this image into Photoshop, right? We tried to straighten it out a little bit, man. Hey, man, better straighten out, man. You know what I'm saying? And then we grayscaled it, right? And then we got this thing isolated, right? And then we see how this is a little bent, though. We fixed it, right? And after we fixed it, we sort of worked on it a little bit, and we cleaned it up and darkened it up, trying to get it into the, we're trying to get a line art going. And once we got the line art, looking as good as we could in Photoshop, we took it, into an AI program online. So one of those free deals, man, like Photo Restore OI or some shit like that, man. Just Google them. They're all over the place now. Big Brother is watching, man. Then we brought this into Photoshop and we fixed it up a little bit, and it was like beautiful line art now. It was like perfect. We kept cleaning it up. We isolated it so it was exactly, and we measured it using that other, headstock picture as a reference. So this is exactly 5 millimeters or almost 2 inches. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And we just worked on it, you know what I'm saying? We got rid of the edges so we knew where to cut around, you know, with our scissors and stuff. And then we flipped the script, man. Well, why did you flip the script? And as soon as we flipped the script, we brought it into our open office, right? And we printed that shit out, man, right? And I printed it out in a beautiful manner. And we looked at it, right? And we said, oh, look at that, man. We brought it over to the instrument in question. You see this terrible glue mark? You know what I'm saying? It totally covered it in a perfect manner. It was totally perfect. And I was like, yeah, man, that'll do, man. That'll do just fine. And I was happy, right? So I went back upstairs and I printed it out again on a transparency, man. It's transparency. It's like clear. See that? It's clear, man. Clear. Right? So I'm going to see you back in the laboratory and we're going to work on this. 1 and 2. So now that you got your learn on, you better behave and listen. I'm only going to explain this once. So we have the toner side out. That's why we printed it backwards. We have this regular old aluminum tape, man, with the backing on it. So we're just going to cut a little piece of that tape, put it behind here, you know what I'm saying? Cut it out from the other side, and then we're going to take it, put a little dab of this. Is called rubber cement. It's made out of bull semen. Semen from a bull. It was collected, you know what I mean, by a trans bull handler. So he didn't feel intimidated. The bull did not feel like he was, you know what I mean, pressured, because it was definitely a trans bull handler that squeezed the semen out of that bull, man. That's why it's by Elmer's, man. You know what I'm saying? Squeeze that bull semen. What are you talking about? Put a little bit of cement on there, man. Bullshit, right? And then we're going to bask in our own intelligence. I'll see you at that part. 1, 2, 3. Wouldn't it be nice to live together and on a world where we Hey, man. What are we going to do now? Let's give it a Brazilian wax. Clean up all the rough edges around the lips, you know what I'm saying? We want to be able to sing like a canary on this fucking thing, you know what I'm saying? Every fucking way, everywhere on the fucking fretboard, here, freezer board, every kind of board, we're to cover that shit up. We're to cover it with some Brazilian wax. See, you're whacking off with the wax, you know what I'm saying? Nice and fucking sheeny. Nice and shiny. I see in that part. Now that, my friends, super sheeny. Super shiny. Wonderful, man. Cover with glass, man. It's a gorgeous thing. So, we got these bridges here. This is the exact type old stock that was used on the old original, you know, issue ones of this particular guitar. This is essentially what's used on this model. This is from CB Gitty. Now, this I've had in my drawer for a while because, you know, I needed to order one of these for another instrument that I purchased. Then after I, you know, put it together and played it a little while, I replaced it with one of these. I bought a pack of these from CB Gitty. This is actually a cigar box K-style bridge, but it's the right size for these type of instruments, and it's wood. And it kind of sounds more like a United instrument, which to me sounds better. So I'll probably assemble it with this, and then down the line I'll throw this guy in there. Just because that's the way I like to roll, man. My rolling is done like that. So we got a set of extra light strings from the Orient. Oh, friends in China. We're going to assemble all these components together. And I'll see you at the glamour shots in 1. Oh no, 2. Oh, here we go. So I was fixing to do the glam shots. And look what I forgot, man. Look at that fucking hole, man. Look at that gaping hole in her middle. What is that? What do I do with it? It's my wedding night, Sarge. I need to know. Is that the baby hole? So look. Hold on, these, man. back when things were like cheap on the cheap world, man. I had like, there was 10 in here. That was like 3 or 4. It's pretty much the exact same thing that all these had, only it's a better plastic. It's a more durable plastic. Got these little pads too. I haven't used one of those pads yet. I got 10 pads. I got only 3 of these guys left. I have to find these again. There's 2 different ones. One's a little fatter, one's a thinner. Thinner ones was the one they used, but it had a cheaper plastic and it all crumble and crackle to crap, man. So let's install that. Right? This little metric screw that's inside, and I'll see you there for a proper glamour shots with the M-O-U-R for a special moment. Well, Sarge, once we got back from the church ceremony, we went right to the hotel. And I took a good look at that hole we was talking about. And I put my fingers out of it. And then I put a couple fingers in there. And gosh darn, I got my whole damn hand up in there. And you know what I found? I found another man's watch in there. It happened to be my daddy's watch. I said, oh, God darn, this girl's trying to steal my daddy's watch. I was wondering why my daddy was visiting her that night. He must have dropped it when he was hanging out with her trying to set her straight. What the hell's going on? You know, I saw one of these at the swap meet this morning with a Conqueror badge on it. Black pick guard. More like a reddish sort of sunburst. It had the actual real bridge. You know what I mean? The bridge is like a little bit taller. Got a raised piece of plastic as opposed to this popsicle stick. But this is dreamy action. So low that it kind of buzzes a little bit, but it's so low. I'll probably stick one of these in there now. Once I've, you know what I mean, bored of playing with this instrument, because it's a beautiful instrument. I like it a lot. Right? There's Larry's homework still, man. That's what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass, Larry. Do you know what happens? That's what happens. There's like a TV version of it that was even funnier, man. Those people who know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about, man. That's what you have when you find a stranger on holiday or something like that, man. Here it is, man. Encore. Right? Missing this octonical label, but it's got the remnants. You done good there, Charles. I'm really proud of you. I don't mind that it got that venereal disease that they had whorehouse New Orleans together. It was one of them Barndon experiences. So let's listen to it, man. Because I told you it was a good sound instrument. Now I'm going to demonstrate it to you. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? I found another man's wallet in there as well. It must have been William's wallet because it had his name on there. She must have stole that from him too. And there it is, man. The Danny Tanner Encore student guitar, man. Really, just the Korean Samick. Beautiful though, right? So what about the sweet sound? See if it's in tune. You know, I've been playing. Actually, it's not bad. This thing keeps in tune pretty well. You would figure with like these bad old tuners, man, and the shoddy sort of tailpiece that it would be all frigged up, but it's actually pretty good, man. I'm impressed. I've been jamming on old R.H. Rudolph Hess's guitar. Don't you dare play any songs by anybody who's, you know what I mean. Well, tell me what you mean, Hess. So, I hope you have a nice summer. You know, like I was saying before, down the shore here, it's starting to get all crazy. Although, it's really kind of crazy all the time, man. You know, it's not just summertime anymore. Now the shore is like everybody's playground always. And I remember right after I said before, it's find a stranger in the Alps. If you know, you know. You know, you know. Since I met you, I began to feel so strange. And every time that I speak your name, and I wonder if you feel the same way too. It is I feel for you. Could it be I'm falling in love with you, baby? Could it be I'm falling in love with you? Could it be I'm falling in love with you? Hey man, Spinners. Love the Spinners, man. Love, love, love the Spinners, man. Sorry about that, Spinners. Peace be with you. Happy summer, right? Traditional, the new traditional beginning of summer used to be right after July 4th, right? The old times. Now it's right after Memorial Day. Peace be with you. I'll see you next month. See you next time. I'll see you. Happy trails to you. Till